Rachel Cosmic. Welcome once again to Soberlink TV. Today's show is part in a series of shows about violence prevention. With us is Dr. Farideh Kioumehr, Executive Director and Founder of the International Health and Epidemiology Research Center. How are you today?
Fine, how are you?
Fine, thank you. And thank you for coming.
You're very welcome.
I'd like to know a little bit more about your organization, if you may.
Sure. International Health and Epidemiology Research Center is a very new organization which is non-profit, and the mission of the organization is health promotion and disease prevention. And when we're talking about disease, any kind of disease from infectious to chronic to violence, which is social epidemic, social disease. And we have different groups in our organization with different backgrounds. We have physicians and epidemiologists, artists and educator, psychologists, and we're all working together, hoping that main project that we have had for a couple of years now called anti-violence campaign, and we're trying to reduce and hopefully one day eliminate the violence.
That's really interesting. Now talk about anti-violence. Let's go back to that in a few minutes. I wanted to find out first, what exactly means epidemiology?
Okay, this is a good question. And epidemiology means it comes from epidemic diseases. And when we find out something is an epidemic, means that it is going more than few people. That would be called epidemic. We're trying to prevent that. And nowadays we believe violence is most important epidemic disease of our century or time, especially in U.S. And so that's why we're trying to find out what is the reasoning behind it and trying to find a way to prevent it. Epidemiologists' work is like preventive medicine, as I mentioned, and we believe prevention is much more effective than the treatment or cure. And it's not only much more effective, it's easier, it's faster, and also it's much less money involved economically.
Economically, it's cost effective?
Very cost effective. And that's why we believe that instead of letting somebody get the disease and then cure it, and there is sometimes no cure at all, especially with violence, in particular with gun violence, there is no cure. Most of the time they die. So there is no cure, that we wait for something to happen, then we cure it. So we have to go with prevention.
Yes.
And we believe that an ounce of prevention is much better than a ton of cure. And this is a big, very famous proverb.
Good.
That's why we do that.
So talk about the anti-violence campaign. Now, what it entails.
Okay, what our project is, as you mentioned, is anti-violence campaign, and we are trying to reduce violence, as the name implies, is violence prevention intervention. And through education and raising awareness for parents, children, educators, and public through media, we're trying to raise awareness about the danger of guns, toy guns, and anything which is dangerous, and in general, raise awareness about violence in general. And not only that, what we do through this, educating people, we have different ways we reach people. And one of them is when we go to the different places, we have presentations, lectures, workshops, you name it. We do it different groups. And another thing we try to do, in addition to presentation, is Anti-Violence Day project, which hopefully we're going to talk about it later, is an event. And then beside this, we are having trying to influence artists, and not only artists, well-known, those who are students in the schools, and they do some artwork. We're trying to teach those people by doing something creative from the, toy guns or something from violence, make it some kind of piece of art with anti-violence. So this is another work we do, and message. And not only that, we're trying to influence as much as we can the policymakers or groups that have something to do with decision making, to tell them about the danger of guns and violence in general, and hoping that this is another way to reduce the violence. We get petitions for that matter. And so, and most importantly, that we have been reaching most people. It was through media, and I really have to thank media, because they have been always behind us. They always came to any event or any project we had, and then reached lots of people.
Yes.
public through media.
You were talking about the Anti-Violence Day project.
Yes.
Is that like an outreach project that you have, or where do you go with the project,
Yeah.
or how do you work?
This project, Anti-Violence Day project, is a main project that we have now, and we go through schools and we go through different communities. We have booths in the fair. We are reaching different groups and different organizations. We have LA County Health Department behind us. We have Children Museum, LA Children Museum, and different groups.
I see a lot of art here.
Yeah, and Anti-Violence Day project, as I mentioned before, is like a violence prevention intervention project, and we try by educating parents and especially children in this event, trying to tell them about the danger of guns. And we designate one day for each different community or different group schools, and telling them about the danger of this instrument. And then the kids come in that particular day, they bring their toy gun, which very much looks like a real gun sometimes. They bring it in and then they make a piece of art with the toy guns, which
So
have a big
basically
message.
they bring the toy guns, they turn it into your organization, and you then get artists like Jamal
Yes.
to make artwork with it.
Yes.
That's one of these
I want
toy
to tell you
guns.
this first, because the kids, when they come in and bring their toy gun and they give it to us, and we want them, definitely I want to mention this here, that this is not toy gun exchange. I don't want this to be
No.
called exchange, because exchange is that they don't get any education. But our project emphasizes very much in education, because without education we cannot really teach the kids why do they want to bring the toy gun. We want them to say why they want to bring it in, because it's killing our people.
Right.
Because we believe very strongly that guns are for killing and toys are for playing, and then combination of these two are deadly, which I hope we can talk about that a little later. So when the kids come in,
They get rewarded.
They give the t-shirts, the toy gun, and then they make a beautiful piece of art with it, which have a big message of say no to toy gun and toy weapon. As you see here, this is one of the events we went to.
If you can see this picture here with all the kids, maybe somebody can show a
George,
picture, somebody.
this is Jordan
Look
Law
at it, look at
Cluster
it.
of LAUSD.
That
And
was where
this
where
was in
it?
Jordan Law Cluster, LAUSD, Los
Oh,
Angeles Unified
Los
School
Angeles
District,
Unified
which
School
was in
District.
Watts Art Center area, in Watts area. It was very, very successful. And this is, one of the events that we have gone in. But when they come in, we give them a T-shirt as their reward. We just don't give it as exchange. We give them as a reward for their active participation in violence prevention. So they feel good about themselves. They feel kind of, good that they have done
positive.
something positive than something negative.
Right.
So we give them a T-shirt which says, say no to toy gun and toy weapon. So when they wear this, first of all, they feel good, and secondly, when people see it in the streets or whatever, they learn too. So it's not
Yes,
only,
it's a message.
yeah, it's a message. So we're trying to raise information and education and awareness for the people. And then not only that, we give them a certificate. And the
Oh,
certificate,
you can show that to
give
the
them, I
camera.
appreciate, their active participation. They have 2 certificates. The reason for 2 certificates is, one of them say no to toy gun and toy weapon. And this is for kids who do not have toy guns. Sometimes they come in and say, we don't have a
You
toy
can
gun.
maybe show this one, like certificate in appreciation of active participation on Anti-Violence Day. That was an event you had in April 6th.
April
I see
6th. This
that.
was with
Oh, you
Iranian
do a fair
community.
event.
Yeah, that was in Iranian community
All right,
last few weeks ago. And this is for kids who do not have toy guns, so they come in. But what we ask them to do, because they feel good and they even learn more, we ask them to write a short story, or they do some kind of painting, beautiful drawing, which have anti-violence message. So when they do that, as
beautiful.
appreciation, we give them that certificate. If they have a toy gun and they come and make a piece of art with it, then we give them this certificate, which is almost basically the same thing, except it says, I gave my toy gun away, so I saved lives. So
That's a good one. Now, I've seen something like this in one of the malls, local malls in the valley, where they bring a gun and then they get little like toy cars in exchange. That would be another thing. you
yeah,
could
but
probably think of, I
as
don't know.
I said before, we'd rather
Give
give
an
them something educational as well, because
educational.
another car, they may not think why they
Why
get a
they're
car, why they
doing
get
it.
it, that
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
give
you're
them
right.
any
Good
information.
point, good point. Now, I know you have done some research about the facts of consequences of using toy guns, and you have a fact sheet that you perhaps would like to share with us?
Yes, that's a good question again. Actually, what we have in our project, what we're trying to do, is that we believe, and I think this is well-known fact for a long, long time now, that the violence is a learned behavior. anything we learn from the young age, when we are, the younger we are, this is a scientific proven fact and research that brain absorbs whatever we teach them. And so we're trying to teach the kids from the young age, not even as newborn. We even start working with not only children, but pregnant mothers, that teach them about the danger of guns, violence, anything, because we believe anything we start from home. The family, if there's violence in the family, husband and wife fight all the time, they would have some effect in the children. We can give an example, like the kids, you know that probably have heard from other places that when a mother is pregnant, if they listen to the nice music, the kids would become a better or like more peaceful child. Whereas in the families which are fight all the time, the kids which are even in a pregnancy time, which they are not even born, but they still have effects on them. So we use this project for that matter, and we're trying to reach the kids from as early as possible, and we're trying to influence their learned behavior from that age. And we're hoping that, as I didn't mention that, but this project is not quick fix at all. This may take another generation. We're trying to reach as many kids as possible, and then next generation, hopefully when they grow up, they do not want to touch guns or toy guns, whatever, which is...
Yeah, I was wondering, I mean, how do you ascertain the effect of the goals that you're setting for your organization as far as seeing a result? I mean, is there a way you can test it? I mean, if you're really looking at 10 years from now, is there a way, you have a way of testing it?
Well, first of all, when we go to different organizations or groups and we have presentations, we also have a questionnaire. We ask them if they see any effect in our presentation or what they learn. And believe it or not, we have had very good response, sometimes 99% or to 100%. Answering that was really shocking, especially you mentioned something which I didn't get to it in your first question about the fact sheet.
The facts, yeah.
Yeah, the facts is very important because we have fact sheets which when we go to any presentations or any event we distribute to parents.
Yeah, can you share that? Because
yeah,
I read that, it's so interesting.
It is something that people come to us.
You can read some of them? Like,
yeah, we can read some of them. For instance, one of them was, first of all, we have from 1983, as early as 1983 to as late as maybe last month, in March, we had, incidents with toy guns. And I tell you one of them, for instance, in Memorial Day, May 29, 1995, in Carson Park, California, a boy which was 12 years old was shot twice by a police officer because he had a toy gun which was only $2. Can you imagine?
Something like that one there?
Yeah, something like this, as simple as this, maybe $1, $2 toy gun, because they resemble very much like a real gun. And the police officers or whoever see these
I'd like
things,
to show that to the audience.
yeah, when they see that, they would not see the difference. The police officers, even although they are trained very much, they believe this would be real gun, and that's why they would be, shooting the little kids. We have had
the kids got shot by the police.
By the police and by gang members. It had been killed. I have one incident, which a 3-year-old boy was killed by his own grandfather because they were playing police and robber, whatever, and then the grandfather had a real gun and the boy had a very similar toy gun, and then by mistake the grandfather took the gun and killed his own grandson.
Oh my goodness.
This is it's not unnecessary death. And so for this matter, and the very last episode or event we had was in San Jose International Airport. And a boy, which is 6 years old, had a toy gun in his hand, and they thought that was a real gun, so they kept all the flights, like 20 planes had to stay up there. You can imagine how much, problem it created. People wanted to go to their presentations, work, whatever, they cannot go, and economically so much problem. So we have a lot of kids who have been. We had this fact sheet, which if you want, or if you have any events later on, they can come and get these things.
Yes.
We have several kids have been killed for having toy guns unnecessarily.
Yeah, unnecessarily. Now, you were talking about violence as a social disease or learned behavior, and you are implying that it could be modified by teaching kids.
Definitely.
What about the parents? What can parents do to help the kids, modify that type of behavior, which is really on TV a lot of violence.
That's true.
How can they help?
They can help a lot. I believe the main group that they can help is the family itself, the main person who reaches the kids. Schools are another group, but I think parents are the most important group, and they can do very easy things without really a big effort in their part. They can really reduce it. The reason I have to mention that, the reason we use guns as, you know, our symbol, because it's the most important symbol of violence. Nothing else is as violence, you know, symbol of violence than this one. But beside that, we are trying to also tell parents and children about not only the guns and toy guns. We're talking about video games, which are violent. We're talking about the TV programs, which is even mainly are for kids, or children programs, but they are so violent, and sometimes they are worse than the, you know, general program. And for instance, as a data I can tell you, you know, that the children in U.S., there have been some studies showing that before they get to the age of 17, they have been exposed to 200,000 acts of violence in TV alone. You know, in average, whatever they watch, some kids even watch more TV programs, and they see even more, you know, violence in TV. So when we teach the parents what they can do easily, do not buy toy gun or toy weapons.
That's
anything
number one.
For the kids.
No weapons.
No weapons at all.
No knives.
No knives. Nothing which is,
Nothing.
you know, symbolizing violence is not good for kids. And like with alcohol and with cigarettes, usually parents are not the one who will buy it, right? But with toy gun, actually the kids do not go buy toy gun themselves. Usually parents go and buy it for them. So really we have to educate our parents not to buy these things. And if they, you know, when they go to get the games, make sure they ask the person who is
or the store owners or the
store owners, managers.
That would be one way of influence.
Would be one way. We can go, first of all, tell them, do not sell this to our kids. And not only that, do not rent or do not buy these games for your kids. Supervise your children when they are watching TV program. They watch some or listen to radio, Power Rangers. This is a terrible thing. Or if they are even playing with computer. Recently, there have been some luring done with computer. So the parents, by supervising their children, very easily they can reduce this violence. They can watch what they see, what they even listen to the music. Some of the music, the lyrics are so violent that the kids learn these things. And so very
subliminally, it goes right into your subconscious.
Exactly.
Right?
And more importantly, I believe, if we teach our children morals and values, this is another thing that we have to constantly remember that when we
remind
teach them
the kids
exactly
your values.
That would be even very, very important for the kids to, you know, learn about values. If they know that they shouldn't rob anybody, if they shouldn't kill anybody, that would go to their mind too. So we have to keep saying that, because then we have to desensitize what the kids see in TV programs or what they watch in different places.
Is it a good advice to reduce the time that they watch TV?
That's a very good idea.
That is
very good idea, especially.
What's an average time that you would suggest parents to allow kids that are coming from school to watch TV or play, you know, those violent games outdoors?
I do not recommend any violence game at all. I mean, if there is any way at all.
Zero tolerance.
Zero tolerance for that, exactly. And that's, thanks God, that in schools right now, in LA Unified School District, as at least I know, there's zero tolerance for bringing guns and even toy guns to school.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which is good. I hope this is going to be everywhere in different stores.
How many schools have you done so far?
I have been in so many different schools, which I cannot say, but two of them, which was the biggest one, was in two clusters in LAUSD. One of them, which I mentioned, was in Monroe Complex, which is in North Hill, area that you work. Yeah, that was in, I believe, in October '95, and the other one was in Jordan Luck Cluster, which about 25 schools were participating in that. It was very successful.
Wow.
But also we have reached the private schools as well as public schools.
How about churches?
In churches also we have already approached some, and we are going to do more. Different communities. We have done this work with Iranian community, with Jewish community.
Right? You're from Iran?
Yes, I'm from Iran.
Yes, I see why you do this kind of work, because there's a lot of violence in your country. Just like where I was born in Israel.
Yeah, but at the same time, I wanted to tell you that somehow they are saying this thing, which is not normally true. No, not normally true. As a matter of fact, they are very peaceful people. I mean, when we're talking about government, we have to separate this issue anyway.
Yeah, I mean, how do you teach kids over there? I mean, when you do have to survive, and they're always fighting, you know. I'm talking about like Arabs and Israelis or Iranians and neighbors, right? I don't know who they fight with, but but it's difficult, you know. You have to kind of, you know, somehow prepare them to go to the army, At the same time, you're telling them not to be violent, not to use
what I
guns.
really hope and believe,
Mhm.
Rachel, for is this violence-free society which none of us have to.
Violence-free society.
Yeah, exactly. This is our
We can
ultimate
do
goal.
it.
This
I
is
know
ultimate goal, to have
very
violence-free society, peaceful society. In this sense, I'm saying that maybe we didn't have to even have a war, so we didn't have to have a
Yes.
gun.
It's coming to that point, I would say, because communism is kind of there's no more
Okay.
communism anymore in Russia, and everybody's kind of steering towards peace, but we
Well, I
have to
hope
hope
so.
that the old generation doesn't kind of infect the new generations that are coming, which
Yes.
is really that we need to work with, right? The new ones, keep their minds healthy and positive, like what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
This
is
project
very
would be very
positive.
positive. As a matter of fact, I didn't mention that, but one of the reasons we are doing that also, besides taking the toy gun away from them and educate them about the danger of gun and gun violence, by doing this positively and showing and teaching the parents and children that instead of playing with something dangerous and destructive, play with something or do something constructive. And that's why we have this, logo saying that instead of teach your, give your kids.
I want you to tell me a little bit about your art.
These arts have
That
been
one
done,
there.
and most of the arts have been done with a very well-known artist, Jamal, which is also in our board, a board member. And
From Iran?
it's from Iran, and he has
Like that
done
one, what is that exactly?
beautiful pieces of art. As you see, this one it's, believe it or not, everything you see here is a gun, is a toy gun, which they have cut and made it a piece of art, which is, as I mentioned again, make it positive.
That was a toy gun? It
This is
looks
a toy gun.
real.
All of them are
With
just.
all the wires everywhere?
And this one is, as a matter of fact, have a name. Mine is a terrible thing to waste because it's a waste anyway. And then the person who sit down and made something like this and spent so much time, instead of that, he could come up with something positive and something constructive. That's why we're hoping that this, when we show this thing, display this thing in different events or presentations,
This is a
people
real
see
nice
that.
one too. I want to show this one. It says, use your hands to create, not to destroy.
And this one is showing you, instead of, this was another gun, believe it or not.
This is a gun?
And the kid could put his hand in,
oh, I've
and
seen
then
this, my phone.
and then you can, put the trigger.
Catapult. Yeah, I know,
Exactly.
I've seen
And so
those.
this is the part we took and make a piece of art saying that instead of that we can make music, we can paint, we can build houses.
Very good.
So it is positive image, or
Yes.
not only anti-violence, but also showing alternatives to that. What you can do.
That's what you need to give them, right? Alternatives. Now, wanted to congratulate you for what you're doing. You've done such a great, enormous work, and I commend you for taking your time. I know this is all volunteer work. You're a nonprofit organization. And would you like to give out your phone number to our audience, so in
Yes,
case
please.
they'd like to call you, invite you to their clubs or schools or churches?
Yes, that
Go
would be a
ahead.
good idea. Next, actually, conference we are having is going to be National Conference on Violence Prevention, and it's going to be in Westin Hotel by LAX. And if anybody wants to come, they can contact either us or Violence Prevention of Greater Los Angeles. Our number, International Health and Epidemiology Research Center, is 818-788-2662.
And you're located
In Sherman Oaks.
in Sherman Oaks.
Yes.
So they can call and make an appointment to come and see you, or you can come out to their
Facilities, yeah.
and teach them about your program, right? That would be interesting. Yes. Okay, I wanted to thank you very much for coming down to the studios on TCI Cable today. And this show airs in different areas, so anybody would like to contact Dr. Kioumehr, you can call us at the end of the show. There'll be a phone number, and I know you have a lot of people in the community, Iranian community. You would like to give out the message in Persian?
Yes.
In Persian, go ahead.
Yes, پدر مادرای عزیز، سلام خدمت شما. امیدوارم به بچه‌هاتون یاد بدین که با اسلحه بازی نکنن، و چه با اسلحه واقعی چه غیر واقعی. همونطور که گفتم، اسلحه‌های غیر واقعی هم باعث کشتن بچه‌ها میشن، چون پلیس و افراد دیگه ممکنه متوجه این اختلاف بین اسلحه واقعی و غیر واقعی نشن و جون بچه‌های ما در خطره. علاوه بر این که ما اصلا فکر داشتن اسلحه و هر چیز خطرناکی مثل گیم‌های خطرناک بایستی که امیدوار باشم برای بچه‌هاتون نخرین. خیلی ممنون میشم.
Very nice. It sounds like French.
It's very
I
soft.
speak a little bit French, so I could understand a little bit, but I didn't understand everything. And now Jose Angel Falcon would like to brief the Hispanic community members. Jose, please. Thank you, Jose.
Gracias y bienvenidos una vez más a Soberlink. Queremos darle las gracias a la doctora por haber estado acá con nosotros, por este mensaje tan importante, que es muy bueno que los padres aprendan que el jugar con juguetes como pistolas va a generar violencia y en un futuro va a traer problemas. Eso es bueno enseñarles a los niños a no jugar con juguetes de pistolas y espadas. Y Michelangelo tiene un mensaje para todos los padres.
Parents, don't buy your kids toy guns or toy swords. Guns and toys are for kill, and toys are for play. Thank you.
Muchas gracias y los esperamos de nuevo.
All right, Michelangelo. Michelangelo is got a message for all the kids. Come here, Michelangelo. You want to thank the lady for coming? See all the art? See what this is? What is this? What? You don't like this, right? Good for you. It's good for you. You see, you never want to play with this because these are very violent toys. So at this point, I'd like to thank everybody for watching Soberlink TV. My name is Rachel Cosmic with Global News for Soberlink. Thank you for watching. And thank you for Dr. Kioumehr for coming to the studio today from the International Health and Epidemiology Research Center located in Sherman Oaks. And she will be with us at the picnic. We're going to have a Sober Day picnic at the Van Nuys Recreation Center, September 27. That's going to be this year, 1997. So if you're watching this show and you'd like to sign up, if you're a school principal or you're a teacher, or if you'd like to participate, she will be our special guest down there because we're really trying to encourage people not to be violent. Do not be violent. Don't use drugs, don't drink alcohol, and do not be violent. Thank you for watching.
The many chances we miss because we hesitated to do just what we wish. Capture the spirit, find it within you. Follow your dreams now, you make the difference. Carpe diem, seize the day, climb out of that abyss. Only you can captain on the SS Happiness. Capture the spirit, find it within you.